and make it available if necessary.
Okay, before we crack on, I'm sure there was other people on that email thread.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll take care of making it available to all of them.
Okay, but like, did they get this meeting invite?
That's what you're saying.
Roman, I should. They do. They all did on the calendar, but let me. Roman is not online, and he's not going to be there. Jean Marie is not online.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, so I didn't expect them to be. Really, it's an ungodly hour where they are.
All hours are godly.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the recording right now. Smile to the camera.
Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen to see if it works. Let me see. Share screen. I'm starting it. Do you see my screen?
Not yet. You must be a click away.
Let me see. Desktop. I suppose this is it. Share screen.
There you go.
Do you see my screen now?
Not yet, but now yes.
Okay. Everybody sees my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me start. What I'm going to show you today is the result of a very, very ambitious project that has been running now for 3 years and involved 10 to 15 developers. What we did is basically create an ecosystem that enables an individual, a small organization or company, and up to huge organizations, huge corporations, and governments manage their operations. Now, by managing their operations, we mean that any organizations would share or exchange different things. Now, what we decided is that our system is going to share and exchange and manage different types of objects. And by objects, we mean the first object is values. I just want to explain a little bit what we mean by values. We mean symbols of values like money. It can be conventional currency, complementary currency. It can be anything that means something to somebody and has some value. It means, for example, that we can open accounts with dollars, with euros, but also with bags of rice, bottles of wine, or a New Earth exchange currency. Whatever we want, we can create the unit that we want on the accounts. And the accounts can be either in currency or can be in kilos, tons, liters, mountain bikes, chairs, bags of rice, whatever you want, you can create accounts. And this is really important because to make, for example, to trade or to change or exchange or share, you don't always need to convert it into currency. You can convert a mountain bike for a table and 4 chairs. You don't necessarily need to go into currency. And you can also do something else by, for example, mix and match those values. I can, for example, exchange with somebody a mountain bike for euros and some New Earth exchange coins and a few bags of rice. I can mix and match all those exchanges. Excellent. But what we also did, and if you have any questions, just stop me. Because it's really fundamental. It changes the whole perspective. And it's really something that it's totally new and different than what the banks are doing, accounting systems are doing, governments are doing, in such a way that we invented a new language for people to interact one with each other. The accounting system that all the corporations, banks, governments are using today is based on what we call double entry accounting system. Double entry accounting system means that debit always has to be equal to credit. Assets always have to be equal to debt plus capital, which is liabilities, okay? It's a fundamental technique of accounting, which was invented in the 13th century. It's very old, And by the way, one of the first books ever printed was an accounting book to explain the double entry system. The problem with this is that if you want to live in a gift economy and you're working with a double entry accounting, when I give you something, I need something in exchange, so that debit has to be equal to credit. Okay? You got the idea? So if, for example, I issue, I give a loan to, for example, to the country Greece in Europe, I need to create some kind of an asset or a liability on one of the sides. Accounting is built in such a way that either the two accounts can be on the asset side, the two accounts can be on the liability side, or you can have one account in the liability, one account in the asset side. So it really is a language that that obliges you that if you want to be, for example, generous with somebody, you need to create something on the other side. And this is why we have, for example, some situations in the capitalistic world where when we are trying, for example, to help Greece, we need to issue government bonds, i.e. debt. So we create an asset, and then we need to issue then debt. So the problem is with the double entry system is that it really makes us use a certain language, which is totally contrary to the gift economy that we would like to create, for example. Now, PayServices is a system that can work in double entry, and it can work in the other dimensions, either mono entry or multiple entry. Okay? I think this is really fundamental. So if anybody has any question, just let me know.
Yeah.
Is that okay until now?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's the first revolution that we created with PayServices. So we went out from the double entry accounting system so we can work in a different way and also in the conventional way. So we have the two things. The second revolution that we created with the accounting system on PayServices with the accounts is that the accounts that we have can be accounts that actually contain value, which is hosted on PayServices, but can also be accounts of only of data, which is linked to values. So it means, for example, that I can keep a copy of a, let's say, a bank account statement in Japan when I'm in Belgium, for example. But I can, so I have all the data of the transfers in and out, etc. But I can also have actual values hosted on the server. For example, if we have the New Earth Exchange coins, we can host them on the server, and then the accounts actually represent value, which is not only shown, but is also hosted on the system. So this is another revolution, because usually either you are just describing values, or you are hosting the values and describing them as well on your system. We can do both as well. Okay? Okay. Now, that's the second, I would say, revolution in the system, that we can do that as well. The third aspect is that within the account system, we can create all sorts of commitments. And by commitment, I mean, for example, I commit, for example, to repay a loan in so many times, etc. That's a commitment. Or I commit to make a gift to somebody. That's also a commitment. We can manage all those commitments on the system. It can be also, for example, I commit to make a donation. We have tools for donations. So all the commitments, and it can go very far, because you can actually even manage commitments as a government. You could do all sorts of things with the commitment tools, and also it's part of the transactions tools, where you can move value from one account to another, but you can also make commitments and all sorts of transactions which really are part of everyday life of any type of organization, whether it's for non-profit, for-profit, gift economy. You can manage this on the system with the commitment system.
Okay, well, just so I understand this commitments thing.
Yes.
Is it like a commitment that has? Is it creating a contract of some kind?
Absolutely. Whenever, for example, you become, let's say you become a member of an organization, that's a commitment. And I'm going to explain that. So you can have commitment when you're, anyway, every time when you're doing a transaction, you may have, for example, a transfer, present or future of value, but it can be also a commitment of time. It can be a commitment of an opinion, okay? So the system can manage different types of commitments and transactions and sharing and exchanging. I will just name them. The first one is all the symbols of value, which can be complementary or conventional currency or any symbol of value. It can manage all the sharing and exchanging of documents. We have a complete system to exchange documents, which is a secured environment. All the sharing and exchanging of information. It's like a messaging system, like an email and other types of messaging where you can share reliably this information. All the sharing and exchanging of commitments. And the fifth type is of opinions. So, for example, this is something that we are now introducing. We're introducing accounts where you can count opinions. For example, if you're a government and you want to have a democratic process and ask all the citizens if they vote for a yes or a no, the yes goes into one account, the no can go to another account or to the same account, but on the two sides, and then you know how many no's, how many yes you have in an opinion gathering system. Okay, so we can also manage the opinions on an account, and it's basically an e-democracy tools that we are also providing. The e-democracy tools are being now built into the system and will be also available in one of the new versions. We are now launching version 1.1 of all of our smartphones, which contains the onboarding, the opening of an account, the registration, everything. And those tools will be also, some of them are already available on the 1.1, some of them will be available on the 1.2, and the 1.2 will be available within, I would say, something like probably a month or two. So it's very, very quick. It will go out very, very quickly, in the next couple of weeks, 1 or 2 months ahead, the e-democracy tools. Anyway, now I want to show you a little bit on the screen what I have here.
So Willie, before
yeah.
you go, the reason why I asked about commitments and if they
yes.
create actual relationships is because, as far as I'm aware, because we're moving towards a gift economy, as you know, that's the intention of New Earth.
Yep.
As far as I'm aware, there's no basis under any current law system for a contract for a gift in the future.
Yep.
So I was wondering if how this applies in gifting terms. So, like, for example, if I say, if I enter into a contract with you to say I will gift you $10,000 next month, and then I don't do it, if you took me to court in England or Belgium, you wouldn't win because there's no foundation for a gift in the future. So how does that translate into this?
Okay, in fact, it's very simple. Any commitment, you would have at least 2 or more parties, and the commitment would work between the parties. So as long as the parties want to keep the system coherent, and accept to obey by its structure. For example, New Earth Exchange and the New Earth Nation, you have created a constitution. In a way, this is a commitment. Anybody who's signing up to this constitution, it's a commitment. Okay. Now, in this commitment, it's a free, maybe it's a free by the free will and free decision. But maybe if you commit to the New Earth Exchange, maybe to start, you are going to decide that people will need to commit some money or time or whatever. So it can be, the commitment can also be a promise to provide the community with a gift, and the gift can be of any type. Now, you see, the beauty of the system is that in a double entry system, if I commit for example, to give 10 hours of my time, I will need to put $1 or a value, a currency amount on it, and the system will owe me the value of the commitment. In our system, it doesn't. It's really up to you if you want it or not to be a double entry or more.
Okay, so in the instance where, because we want to move past the whole point of New Earth again,
exactly,
the kind of what do you call it? People taking each other to court. We don't really want that kind of activity anyway. So, in this instance, like say, I make a commitment and promise to make you a gift next month sometime, and I don't follow through on that commitment, then what would be really nice to have is some kind of a like a trust network. It's a rating system where Willie then goes and says, well, Greg Paul's not very trustworthy here, so he gets a thumbs down from me and his trust capacity, so that people then engage in the system and build trust, and everyone can see who's really honoring their commitments. Is that kind of thing?
Yes, it's actually it's coming.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's coming, absolutely. There will be normally a tool, for example, like a 5-star a note that you would give to anybody, any person on the system. The system always starts with the individual, and the individual has to build his, I would say, his profile. By building his profile, and this is something that I was going to explain, in the PayServices system, I'm going to connect here and I'm going to show you. Okay, it's a demo account, and I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, there are tons of tools, but I'm not going to get into all the points. Otherwise, we are going to be here for about 4 hours.
All right, fair enough.
But what I want to point out is that, look here, we have values, operations, and structure. Okay. Now, what does it mean? These are the main tools that you are going to work. The first step to be part of the system is to open an account, which is totally free, easy to do. You can do it using either with any browser on our website, or via your website. We can give you the tools to connect the system, either via iframe or other tools. And the moment you open an account on PayServices, what you get is an account on PayServices. You will also get, with the same credentials, you can have an account on New Earth Nation. You also get a Zubai Box account. And I'll explain what it is in a few minutes. And you can then create all sorts of entities. You see here, I've got personal and professional. Now, one of the professionals can be the New Earth Nation government, for example. Okay?
Yeah.
But we always start with the person. So to give you an idea how we would do it, in the case of New Earth Nation, we have now Sasha Stone, which is registered. We're opening his account. he can then open professional account, which can be called the New York Exchange or the New York Nation account, or 2 or more accounts. And on each of those accounts, he can link, even on his personal account, he can create other accounts which are linked to his personal account. For example, as a father, I can give my daughter a card which is linked to my account, okay? And I can say she has the right to spend up to X amount per week or per day, etc., with that card. So, or do certain things and not do other things in the system. So I can link. The thing is that every aspect of the information that we're going to put in the structure, I'm going to go into the structure for a minute. You see, I've got here BAMS. BAMS is bank account management. Then I've got CAMS, contact account management system. I have departments account management. I have titles account management, roles account management, premises account management, vehicles account management, human resources management, signature accreditation management, who can sign with whom and what and up to how much and when. So all those tools are built into the system, and we are continuously improving them. The idea is that in the system, you have different objects which relate to persons, to vehicles, to offices, to rights, to accounts, to whatever you want. And all those objects, you can mix and match them and link them in certain ways. For example, Sasha Stone can link himself to New York Nation, can give authority to Greg to add users into the New York Nation account. Greg can give Avi the possibility to manage the bank accounts. Somebody else can be Roman, I don't know, can do all the titles, etc. And you can mix and match all those things, and you can manage the access.
Wonderful. So it's one more question, and this isn't actually for you, Willie, for Troy and Santi.
Yep.
Do you guys see how this? Are you guys seeing how this could actually integrate with our admin portal?
Yes.
I mean, it's in between integrate and take over partial aspects that are not fully developed, depending on the speed on which we could integrate these to our systems.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. One more question before we let Willie get back on is who in the IT team wants to work, is going to work with me principally over the next two to 3 weeks to spec out every component of this integration?
I would be happy to do that.
Okay, cool. That'll be you and me.
I'll partake too, definitely.
Thank you, Santi.
Wonderful. All right, thank you. Sorry, Willie. Please continue.
Okay. Now, what I haven't explained yet, that the browser I'm using here is called the Butterfly browser. Okay. Now, the nice thing with the Butterfly browser is that we developed it, and it's a fully secured browser. It's our own browser. Now, I'm going to show you something. Everybody sees me?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see what I hold in my hand? Let me explain. I have a cable here that connects to my computer, and this cable is a USB cable, okay? This cable is connected to a USB chip card reader.
Do you want to stop? Do you want to stop recording the sharing the screen like that? We see you big.
No.
If you wish, that's just.
No, it's okay. You can see the numbers. It's not really a problem. That's also the beauty of the system. We are not afraid of sharing numbers, and there's no security issue. It's fully secured, even if you have the numbers. I'm going to show. So don't worry about the sharing. But I want to show you. So this is a chip card reader. You see the chip is on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are the PayServices cards, and for example, with some tribes in Canada, you probably know them, the Squamish, because I know they're in contact with you. These cards are going to become their identification cards. So on the back, there will be the picture of the person, his name, and other information. And the layout will be made in such a way that it will be, we can call it core branding. You will have the pay services possibilities and also as an ID card, okay? So we are going to issue them with the cards, and they're going to personalize them. But what I want to show you here, if you look at the screen and on my video, on the video camera, you see that the card is inside the reader, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look here on the top right corner where I have my mouse, you see I have a green light, which means that the card reader is working. And I have the Pay Services logo, which means that it recognizes that it's a Pay Services card, okay? Now, I'm going to pull the card and listen and look at the screen, what's going to happen. It's a security feature.
Great.
You see, it's like a vault. You heard the lock. I took out the card, and it blocked everything. Now, since New Earth, since New Earth Nation is going to manage values and citizens' information, etc., you need a totally secure environment to handle all this data.
Yes.
So what we did, we built it directly into the browser. You don't need Java. You don't need all those things that are always creating problems. It's native to the browser. And we also created our own HTML tags that enable to use some of the features of the browser. For example, activate the camera or read the chip card, etc. This is the kind of tools that really cool things that we are introducing into the browser. And by the way, in a few months, we won't need Zoom or Skype. We could also talk via the browser and do video conferencing, etc.
Is it going to be encrypted in any way? Any kind of encrypting technology in that direction?
Yes, everything. First, all the servers of Pay Services are PCI DSS level 1 certified. It's the highest certification for the banking industry. There are a lot of banks in the world that cannot have it because they have a lot of legacy systems. We have built it from the ground up to become a PCI DSS level certified. This certification can cost easily anywhere between $100,000 to $500,000 just to get it. It's very difficult to get it. We have this certification. We've got a huge capacity. We did some tests because we were contacted by the Greek government. They are afraid that if they will be kicked out of the euro, all the banks will stop. And we are the only company in the world that can actually take all the data in what people had in the bankrupt banks in euros, give them euro drachmas, and convert it to the new currency, and also use all the cards people have in their wallets. Even if we didn't issue the cards, we can link them to the accounts and let them continue use those accounts. So to check, we did some stress test on our system, and we simulated 15 million users, and we never went over 10% of our capacity.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we have really plenty of capacity. The nice thing with Pay Services, everything was built for efficiency from the ground up with new technology. I recently had the numbers of MasterCard worldwide, which are using legacy system, batch systems. We have more capacity than MasterCard worldwide if we need to handle more transactions at the same time. So it's really beautiful, very powerful system that we have. Now,
Willie, Sasha's now walked in and joined us.
Hi, Willie.
Hey, Sasha, how are you? I saw your video.
Very impressed with everything I'm seeing. Thank you, Willie.
Excellent. I saw the video of the registration on the onboarding. I think your account has been already activated, but I was busy the whole weekend, so I need to check out, but probably you'll get an email probably today. But everything seems to be rolling great, so that's really nice. What I'm talking about, for those who don't know, I think Avi and Sasha, or Sasha, I don't know, you did the onboarding process. The onboarding process gives us the tool to identify a person so that if one day we want to connect the system, for example, to the credit card system or to the banking system, nobody can come and tell us that we are not following the what they call the anti-money laundering rules or KYC. You are obliged by law, the moment you're handling currency, conventional currency, to know who you are dealing with, who's the individual. So what we did, we opened an account for Sasha. Sasha did the onboarding, which is a 3-steps process, which is built in either to our browser or to the smartphone applications. And basically what it does, we take an ID picture of the person, either with the camera or he uploads the ID picture. Then he shows both sides of his identification card. And then the person says, okay, my name is, for example, Willie Dannenberg. I was born on, I live in, my nationality is, etc. And the text, basically what it does, it links the ID card to the person so that we know that we have a record of it. Now, if, for example, you lose your password or something like this, we can always have your voice, your a video of you, and we can also help you if you have any issues with accessing your account, etc. Because we have a much more personal contact, because we have your voice, your picture, etc. with us, and we are also covered with all the local laws of banking system, etc. So that we can show that we have a proper process in place. Now, the picture that we are taking when we are doing the onboarding also appears here on the browser. You see, I have here a round space with my picture, which was taken with my camera. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now, excellent. Now, what is interesting is that you see the system says card reader connected, no card present. So I'm going to take the card again. I'm going to put it in. Let's hear what it says.
PayServices okay.
Okay, so it recognized the card and it says PayService okay. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to take out the card. And I can basically put, and this is an American Express card. I can put any card that has a chip. It will recognize it. It can be a Maestro, a MasterCard, a Visa, the Belgians ID cards, they also have a chip. So it will also recognize it. I'm going to put my Amex card in.
American Express okay.
Okay, so it read the American Express card and it recognized it. Now, what is very interesting is that if we want, in different applications, I can use any card that has a chip to identify a person. Okay? So I don't necessarily need to have the PayServices card in to identify the person. If my Amex card has been linked to my account,
Okay.
then I can use it as an identification. The idea with identification, it can be of 4 types. Something you know, it can be a username or a password. Something you have, it can be a card. Something you are, it can be your voice, your face, your fingertip, and somewhere you are. For example, an IP address. So what we do with PayServices, we can use all those tools to identify securely a person. The moment that we can mix a few of those credentials, then we know that the person has been properly identified. Now, a part of the system, when you install the browser, let's say tomorrow you have an ambassador of New York Nation in Brazil, for example, or any other country. So you can issue him with the PayServices Butterfly browser, and then we can identify him so that anytime he's doing something which is official for the New York Nation government, you know that he has all the tools to be properly identified. Let me give you an example here. You see here it says card reader connected, card present, and the card is recognized because the logo is recognized. If I would put another card, it will not recognize the card, which it's because it's not linked to my account. It's the card I put in this thing is recognized and linked to my account. The second line is machine registered, and I have the reference of the machine here. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do the system knows that this is my machine? When we install the browser, it's going to register the serial number of the machine. okay, of the CPU, the serial number of the hard disk, the serial number of the what we call the MAC address media access code. It's of the network interface card, etc. And it says the machine is linked to the account. Okay.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to go that far. If you don't want to, you can use Internet Explorer, you can use Firefox, you can use Chrome, you can use Mozilla or Opera, whatever browser you want. But if you need this kind of level of security, you can have that. Now I'm going to open it. Okay, you heard the lock, it opens. You remember I closed the browser by pulling the card. I can also, if I just go to the bathroom and I don't want to pull the card, I have a lock, I can just click on the lock, same thing happens.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a quick question, Willie.
Sure.
Can you have multiple machine IDs linked to an account? For example, a laptop and a BlackBerry device you can carry around with you.
Actually, that's exactly how it works. You can link to your account as many machines that you want.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And in the system, you've got objects. An object can be a machine, can be it can be a PC or a Mac. It can be a smartphone. It can be a car. It can be an office. It can be anything that you have is an object in the system, and you can link as many objects that you want one to each other and control the access to it. Let me show you. To give you an idea.
Could also a network be an object, like a
Absolutely.
internet?
Yes, it's part of what we are developing now on Big Brain. I will give you an insight of what we are developing. Via Big Brain, you can link. Two things. Via the browser, let me show you. You can activate a VPN. VPN is virtual private network. It means that you are in your own secured network. Okay, so it means, for example, let's say we all have our browsers, and I have in my machine some data in a folder that I want to share with everybody. Now it's on my local machine. Via the VPN, I can give everybody access to that machine like a Dropbox. It's in a secured way. And I can also link what I have to the search engine that we developed. I was going to talk about it, but for example, with PayServices, let me show you something. If I'm going to type, for example, CNN, you see it found already CNN here. I've got CNN, breaking news, etc. Now this is called auto-suggest. And now when you're using your local browser, it comes from Google. With our browser, it doesn't come from Google, it comes from PayServices. We have our own search engine.
Excellent.
Yeah. Now, why did we do it? Because the next version of the Butterfly browser, what it will allow you to do things that you cannot do with Google. Let me give you a few examples. Example number one is search the internet like Google does. Okay, you can search the websites, you can search information, etc. You can also go to other search engines like Yahoo, Bing, Google. It's okay, you can use it with the system. But when you will be typing a search term here, it will, with one search click, it will search the internet, but also search locally on your hard disk. If you have a Mac, you know Spotlight? Spotlight searches locally. You have the same thing with the Windows machine, Windows search. You can search locally. So if I type, for example, let's say Sasha, Willie, Greg. I remember we had an email. I can type it in my browser, and it will search the internet. Probably won't find anything, but it will find something on my machine with an email. And it will show me the emails on my machine as well. Now, so this is something that Google doesn't do, but we went one step further as well. If, for example, we put some data on, let's say, Greg's machine, and Greg shares this folder with us, when I will type those search terms, it will search the internet, search on my machine, and then search in the folder that Greg gave me access to as well. You see? So if you have, for example, your own your own server somewhere, and you want to protect the data, and you don't want to put it on the internet, then you will be able, for example, to add another server which is not on the internet, and you can create your own cloud.
Excuse me, what email clients, what local email clients of your emails will, or web-based clients will it search the browser?
It's anything that if you're talking about the local email, it will be any email that the Spotlight in Mac or the Windows search can find. So it's basically things like Outlook, etc. Anything that is part of the search, local search engine, it will find then.
Okay.
It will show you 8 different categories: images, text document, Excel documents, PowerPoints, videos, emails, this kind of stuff. There are 8 categories.
Very cool.
It's really cool because usually when you're doing searches, there's another thing that our system will search. It's also in the history of your searches. Let's say you're searching something for the second time, but the last time you searched was 6 months ago. It was a website on the internet, and you want to find it again. The system, when you will type CNN, it will probably give you the website that you have been searching 6 months ago as well immediately, because we know that you've been there already.
Wow.
So in fact, you're going to have 4 different search engines within one search engine. One is the internet, like Google. Second one is the local one. Third one is via your VPN. And fourth one is your history.
Nice.
Google has only 1. We have 4. Okay, so it's quite ambitious, but it's already working. I've already seen it, and here you already just by very quickly I can find all sort of website. Now, what is also nice, if for example the website doesn't exist in our search engine data, the moment anybody who's using the browser will type a name of a website that is not in the system, it will index it immediately. Okay, so the next time everybody in the same group will find it as well. So yes.
When you click enter now, is it also listing the website with more data in the browser window, or is it just in this?
Okay, the version I'm showing you is a beta version. At the moment, it's searching. It's searching the internet, but it's not showing it yet. The only thing I can show here is websites at the moment, but we have already data on the tags for each website. You have the title, you've got the keywords, and you have the text of the page, and you've got all the links on that page. What we do already, we have all this in our database, but at the moment with this version that I'm showing you, it only searches website names. At the moment, it shows, but it actually searches all the rest of the data, but it doesn't show it yet. At the moment, you need to go here. I asked this to be disabled, but normally you see it here because it's still not clean, the result of the search, but it does search already. When I type a search command, it's already doing the spotlight on my machine, etc. We know it works already. I've seen already the result, but we don't show it already in a clean way. We're cleaning it now. So in a matter of a few weeks, it will be part of the system and it will be cleaned and shown in a very user-friendly way. So at the moment we don't show it, we only show the website names. Huh?
You have an estimated delivery time on that happening? 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
We hope to put the Mac version online with some more stuff than I can show you today within probably 10 days.
Wow.
The Windows version will be about 10 days after that, so in about 20 days.
Great.
And anyway, for our internal, we can give you already access to the beta version, so you can every now and then you can download the version as we develop it. And but it's already very stable. I mean, for the last, for example, couple of weeks, I've been using it. I haven't crashed it or anything like that, and it's working very, very well. So it's very stable. And now we're adding all sort of functions to the system.
Okay, thank you.
I want to go back to the pay services thing. You remember I told you about values, operations, and structures. You see, I can here I can manage access to this account. I can manage the access to the account overview, the currency overview, etc. All this stuff. So, for example, I can give Greg or Avi or anybody, or Roman or anyone who we want certain rights on the system, and which can be read-only or modify or add other users to it. You can really create the structure that you want, copy a real physical structure into the virtual world, into the system. Let me give you an example. I'm going to take the bank account management system. Okay, I've got two accounts, and let me open an account here. Okay, that's a bank account, so I can put so in the bank called Belfius, it's a Belgian account. I can have up to that thing 5 accounts. Each account can have as many currencies as I want. You see here I have a Euro and a Great Britain pounds account. The system, you can just put the SWIFT code, it will find the bank automatically. I have the name of my contact at the bank, you see, and all the information, and I can edit those details because I have the right to do it. Okay, I don't know if you see the screen.
Yeah.
And you see, every time when I modify or somebody modifies, there is a trace here. Great. Willie Dannenberg modified. There is a complete log. So you can always go back in history. Nobody can change anything on the system without the manager of your account, whether it's Greg, Roman, Sasha, whoever, without him knowing, because he can always see exactly what the person has done and when it was done. Okay? So that's really interesting because every time when you save, it will take a picture. When I click on submit, it will take a picture of what I've done here.
Okay.
You see, it's very nice, huh? By the way, a lot of spam. A lot of the tools that you see here are now being built into the smartphone as well, because a lot of people don't have access to PCs and Macs, but they have access to, let's say, a smartphone. So a lot of those things are being now built also into the smartphone application as well. Now, what I also want to show you is the ZubaiBox system. Okay. What is ZubaiBox? ZubaiBox is a system that it's basically an email client. I just want to say one thing. We have been very ambitious because to develop a browser, the only companies in the world that have developed browsers are Apple, Microsoft, Google, and PayServices, and one or two other organizations like Mozilla. So we are with the big guys. And then we went and we developed a search engine. Who developed a search engine? Again, Microsoft, Google, Yahoo. Apple doesn't have a search engine. We have a search engine and PayServices. And then we went and we developed an email client. Who has an email client, online email client? Again, you have Google, you've got Microsoft, you've got Yahoo Mail, you've got Hotmail, etc. So we have been very, very ambitious to create a complete ecosystem where we are in our system when we can control the system in such a way that we can give the right tools to create a new economy, a new world, which does not depend on the double entry, debit equals credit, assets equal liabilities, all the problems that we see with the classical capitalistic system today. We didn't want to have anything with it. We wanted to create something totally new, which gives tremendous possibilities and actually opens the linguistics. Now, I know some of you heard of Bernard Lietaer, Professor Bernard Lietaer. I think that maybe you read some of his books. He's the #1 expert in the world for complementary currency, for the new economy, new banking system, new barter systems, etc. And Professor Bernard Lietaer has been writing for the last 20, 30 years, tons of books. I think he wrote like 20 books. And I met him through Thibaut Verbist. Sasha, I think you know Thibaut as well. I think you met him once, Thibaut Verbist.
Bernard's been a friend for many years, and delighted to know the guys in Belgium as well.
Exactly. Now, when I met Bernard through the introduction of Thibaut, he told me, look, here is Bernard. He's one of the guys who created the euro. Then he left the Central Bank of Belgium because he was unhappy with the way it was going to be built, because he wanted people to have their own currency on top of the euro and some other things, and he wrote books. And then I started to talk with Bernard, Professor Bernard Letard, who was sitting in front of me over lunch. And I explained to him what we were developing in PayServices, and the guy opened his eyes and he said, you know, Willie, I have been writing on this for the last 20, 30 years. Nobody did it. You did it. And I want to join you. So after that meeting, he joined us, and we collaborate a lot in discussing how to develop it, how to improve it. He's a world-class expert in exchange systems, and we were able to bring into the system a lot of his knowledge. He's really an amazing person. This guy, I think he's 73 years old. He never had a TV. He just read books. I've been to his apartment a few times. He's got like a 300 square meters apartment, and each and every space, even on the table, everywhere in his kitchen, he's got books. And it's not books that you read, you know, for your pleasure. It's technical books about banking, about exchange systems, about new economy, about governance, about this kind of stuff. The guy is a real expert. And when I talked to him recently, sorry?
Willie, be honest.
Yes?
Willie, books about cuisine.
About what?
Cuisine, culinary.
Well, actually, I was invited to his house on a Sunday, and he was the cook. And we had another professor from MIT that is also developing all sorts of systems. And actually, he's a great cook. I agree. So I think he has some cuisine, you know, some cooking books as well. But I haven't seen them. But anyway, I tested what he prepared. It was really good. So that was a side note. But what was interesting is that as well is that Bernard is part of the Club of Rome. I don't know if you know what is the Club of Rome. Club of Rome exists for about 60 years. They provide opinions, and the heads of states and government consult them. And what they want to do, Club of Rome, they are saying that the continuous search for increasing productivity, the interest rates on loans, etc. All this is unsustainable, and they have been writing all sorts of books and research papers, etc. It's a very distinguished group, and today I am happy to say that Bernard, who is a distinguished and a very senior member of the Club of Rome, is also a member of our board of directors, and also another lady who is a advisor to the Club of Rome. Is also a member of PayServices today. So we're very honored to have those two distinguished professors. Bernard is a professor, is well known. The other person, her name is Elvina. It's a lady that finished Cambridge. I think that when she got her PhD in discrete mathematics when she was 19, and then she went and she studied 5 languages. Literature, comparative literatures in 5 different languages. So she's also part of PayServices, and she's one of the one of the first developers of Next Computer. She worked with Steve Jobs, and she's a very capable lady. She's also part of PayServices. It's very interesting because she brings a lot of mathematical ideas and concepts also to the way we work. I also want to speak about Luc Deckers. Luc Deckers is my neighbor. He's a treasurer of a $96 billion company, And I live in Belgium, but Luke lives my next door neighbor is actually across the street, and he invested also in PayServices because he wanted also to change the system. And what happens is that he's working in Switzerland, and every weekend he comes back home, and he likes to smoke, and his wife doesn't like him to smoke at home, so he's always smoking in front of his house. So every Saturday and Sunday, when I see him in front of, across my street, I go out, and then we walk in our neighborhood for 4 or 5 hours on Saturday and then on Sunday, and we discuss how we can change the world. What big banks today have and limit you, and what we need in the PayService system. And we've been doing it for 3 years now. He has access to all the big banks, to JP Morgan, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, all the big guys that are not always the nicest guys in the banking industry, but anyway, they are the biggest ones. And he knows what they have to offer, and he's working in commodities. And a lot of the business that they are doing is in different currencies, but also in barter. I give you 10,000 liters of olive oil, and I will buy from you 5,000 tons of wheat. So they don't always go to currency. So it's very interesting, and we have been thinking a lot on how to improve the system. What we have developed can, and that's what something which is really nice. They can take their company, which is a 96 billion company, they can build in all the structure into the PayServices system. At the same time, if you are a government, if you are the Squamish sovereign government in Canada and you want to create your own government structure, you can build it also into PayServices. If you're a New York nation and you want to create a new government, you can build it also with the system, with all the tools, all the relationship with all the persons, the objects which make up the system. So we created from the beginning a tool that can take even the largest and the most complex structures and manage them in such a way that all the commitments, because at the end we have commitments. If we are part of New York Nation, there is a constitution, and we commit in a way to be part of this organization. The commitment can be loose or very tight. It can be a commitment like a contract, but it can be a loose commitment, I promise, but even if I don't do it, then okay, there's no problem. The beauty of the system, if it would have been only a double entry accounting system, if I commit as a debt to the system, it becomes an asset in the system. In PayServices, it doesn't have to become an asset. It means that I commit, it's not an asset, but so if I don't do it, the asset is not compromised. That's the beauty. In the banking system, the asset is compromised. That's what we have now with Greece and what they call the pigs countries and all the capitalistic system. The moment you commit and you don't follow, the system is compromised. With our system, since we don't have to work with double entry, it's not compromised.
Beautiful work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Now I want to show you on the ZubaiBox system. I'm going to log out of the ZubaiBox system. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, it asked me for my email and my password. I see the butterfly here. You see it's in color, and I've got the lock, which is closed. And I have here the security bar, which is, it's about like 2/3, 3/4, okay? What it says, card reader connected. You see, this is a web page, but the web page recognizes that it's a butterfly browser. It recognizes that I have my card reader connected with the card present, which is recognized, okay? It recognizes my machine. It says, okay, my machine is connected to my account, and it says that my browser, also that the browser, secured browser butterfly is connected. Now, I want to show you the same login screen on another browser. Let me show you this. Try. Okay, you see here, this is Firefox. Okay, look here. Let's compare it. The butterfly is gray. It's not color. The lock is open. The bar is gray. And the website says, I don't recognize your card. I don't recognize the machine. I don't know if it's linked to an account. You don't use the secured browser. Okay? So, for example, if you want to develop your applications and you want to know if the person who you are dealing with on the other side of the internet is the person who is using with the right credentials, i.e. the right machine, with the right card in the reader, etc., you can build this into your application so that you know if the person who is connecting, even if he has this username and password which can be copied, which can be compromised, you know that the security-wise, this account can be more easily compromised than this one.
And you can block it. You can choose to close your account if it doesn't have a certain level of security not to be available.
Exactly. Not only we can do it, you can do it. I mean, we are giving you the same tools for the New Earth Nation website. You can, in certain parts of your website, if you're using the tools that we're giving you, you can block the account, the access. You can also, for example, say it can only see but not change.
Do you have a single sign-on server provided that we could connect our own applications to?
Yes, we can provide you a number of things. If you want to have your own servers hosted wherever you want, you can do it. And you can connect to PayServices via APIs and other methods of connections, tokens, all sort of tools we can give you.
Fantastic.
So that's really easy. We can even go one step further. If you want us to provide you with secured servers which are built like our own, this means that they are in exactly the same level as a PCI DSS level server. And as I said, to get the certification, it costs $100,000 to $500,000. We can give you the same quality of service. It's a banking level servers. We can also give you systems with load balancers, data replications, automatic backups, all the firewalls. Everything is built in like a banking system, because the moment you start dealing with value and the more users you have, you must be credible. It's really important. If you try yourself to build those systems, you may not be sufficiently credible if the system can be compromised. What we are doing, we can give you the same service that we have. They are not going to be certified PCI DSS level 1 because then you need to pay, but they are going to be updated, upgraded, managed, and built exactly the same way as the servers of PayServices. You also have another advantage. If tomorrow on your servers you need to handle 10,000 people and then you need to go to 5 million, the way we build our servers, they are fully scalable within a few hours or a few days. So if you want to multiply your capacity by 10 or by 100, we can do it in a matter of a few days. It's very easy to do because all the logic is built and then we just replicate.
Where are the servers located?
We don't own the server. We rent them in a company, but we manage them fully from A to Z. Mm-hmm. And we can give you servers where in like 10 different areas. We can give you servers in the US, in Europe, in the Far East. We have databases in the Netherlands. We have the PayService itself has servers on different continents. So even if one continent is shut off, we can continue work with the servers on the other continent. We have servers in the near Amsterdam in the Netherlands. We have servers in the US, and we are planning soon to have also servers in Singapore to serve all the Far East area. But we can put servers in other places. There are tons of places with the company that we work with. They have 10 or 15 different places where they have data warehouses. So we can put the servers in different places. The nice thing, the servers are fully protected by guards 24/7, 365 days a year. They are protected against fire. They are protected against electric outage, etc. They've got generators. They've got all the stuff that you need to make sure that the servers are always up and running. We have been running with them for 3 years. We never had a single moment that the servers were down.
Excellent.
Yeah, we had once a server that has the power supply burned out. So we just got a message. They got a message. And we told them when we wanted to change the power supply, but every machine has 2 power supplies. So the power supply went out, but the second power supply just took over. And we didn't feel anything.
I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, before you carry on, Willie, I just want to explain to Troy and Santi, in case that there's any confusion, that everything we're seeing here that PayServices are bringing to the table, it's the intention that from our side, this is integrated into the New Earth Nation portal.
Exactly.
So that then the exchange actually emerges through there as well. So
that's key.
Yes, the philosophy we put 3 years of hard, I would say, gray matter of thinking and developing. We created the notion of symbol of value. So we don't, for us, a currency, it's a symbol of value. So for us, when you want to create the New Earth Exchange, you want to create the gift economy, you want to create a barter economy as well, and you want to create all sorts of symbols of value which either exist now or will exist in the future. For example, I can commit to the New Earth Exchange 10 hours of training in French, okay? Now, if I give you 10 hours of French lesson, it has value, and I can exchange it for a number of New Earth Exchange coins, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. I think somebody wanted to say something.
Yeah, I did speak for a couple of minutes, but I don't know if it got cut off. And you didn't
No, we lost you I noticed that we lost you. Can you repeat?
I wanted to explain for your benefit, Santi and Troy, that the intention here, just so your minds can whir away as Willie's given the demo, is that all that we're seeing here and the system, the exchange, everything will be integrated from our end in the New Earth Nation site, New Earth Nation portal.
Correct, but where my mind is going is, we know our servers are not the perfect solution. Is if they are going to provide servers with and the know-how on how to have servers to that level of security, I'm very interested in moving our servers to their servers. If you get my drift.
Of course. Yeah, that's a yeah.
Yeah, and also the exchange as well as the nation portal for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's what I was said. I was just really explaining that the exchange will be emerging inside the New Earth Nation portal, if you like.
But the exchange will be emerging through this platform. Okay.
Yes, the beauty of this, I think that you know that we are talking to the Squamish sovereign government in near Vancouver in Canada, and they want to create their own currency as well. Now, you have all those tribes, groups, organizations that want to create their own symbol of value to create a new economy, a new system. Now, via PayServices, we can link all those values and allow, for example, a Squamish citizen that has the Squamish coins to exchange them for a New Earth Nation coins and exchange services, etc.
Before you go on, Willie, we're all familiar with the Sovereign Squamish Government because, as you know, we
absolutely, I know,
member of New Earth Nation. I just wanted to finish explaining to our team here that how, from our side, where this is going to integrate into our infrastructure so that they can have a picture as you carry on. So also for your benefit, Wolf, like when we look at you, everything you're seeing here, when we're going to be sitting down over the next few days and specking out all the details of how and where all this can integrate, and obviously working with Willie as well. So we need to, what we're seeing here, we need to apply in our minds as to how we're best going to integrate this from the New Earth Nation infrastructure that we've already developed. And that was it. Please continue.
And with an emphasis, I don't know if I'm stepping out of line here, but with an emphasis also on this extraordinary search engine capability. I don't know where that integrates, but it's a beautiful point of entry, is it not?
It is.
Yes, I want to explain why we created the search engine, and then you will see really the beauty where we bring communities together. Let me give you an example. If I want to buy a book, I can go on Amazon.com and order the book. I will get the book delivered to my house, and my payment will go somewhere, I don't know where, to some big corporation in the US or I don't know where, okay? I have also the choice to go down, maybe walk a few hundred meters or take my car and go to a local shop, a local library, and buy a book, okay? The difference is that when I'm buying on Amazon, maybe I've got the convenience, but the money leaves my community and goes somewhere outside of my community. If I buy the book at the local bookshop, maybe the guy who owns the bookshop is my neighbor. So the money stays in my neighborhood, which at the end is something which much better relates to what I do every day. So when you're creating a local currency, you want to create a circular economy in such a way that if I'm paying, for example, for the book to the local library shop for some money, he maybe will come to me and will buy from me French lessons, and the same money will circulate in the same street.
That's
okay?
Willie. Very beautiful.
Okay. So now, why did we decide to create a search engine? Because when you're searching for books, I don't want Google to offer Sasha or Wolf or Greg, somebody who's selling goods from outside of the community of New York Nation.
Right.
You see, I want first the system to offer a merchant or somebody or an individual who even wants to give the books as a gift, as a first proposal in the search results.
Yeah,
That's remarkable, Willie. I mean, it really is such a valuable self-writing principle here for reclaiming a social ecology. I mean, I can't congratulate you enough for this concept. It's beautiful.
Indeed.
Exactly. So, for example, I can create in PayServices an inventory of products and services that I have to offer. I can put a price on it in any currency, even a complementary currency or any other symbol of value. And I can also sell it for free. Okay? And I can say that this product, I want it to be part of our search engine. So if I'm searching, let's say I want to offer a pair of shoes. I got a present, a pair of shoes. I wear size 42 and the pair of shoes is size 44. I cannot wear it, it's too big. Okay, I want to offer it. I can put it in my account. It's not a double entry because I'm not asking any money for it. It's a gift. Okay, I'm just giving it. So if I'm giving it, there's no, if it's a debit, there's no credit. I'm just giving it. Okay, I can do it with the system. And if somebody is going to type shoes size 45, he will get, oh, Willie's offering, and he's just living across the street. So yeah. It really brings together the community, and when you're talking a nation, you're talking a community.
Yeah, yeah. This is amazing, Willie. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, all those tools are we are starting to we have been developing huge chunks of technology. For example, the search engine is a huge chunk of technology. The email is a huge chunk of technology. The browser, the smartphones, the PayServices system. And what we have been doing for the last 6 months, we started integrating everything. So when I'm showing you, for example, this, you see that now the browser is integrated with the email client. And it's integrated with the chip card reader. And it's integrated with some other stuff. I'm going to log into the email. That's another thing I want to show you. You saw the bar, it became green. I don't know if you saw it completely 100% green, but let me show you something in the Zubai box. I'm going to write an email, okay? You see here, I've got security strength. Let me put this a little bit to the side, so you see it better. Okay. You see the bar here is like maybe 15%, and it needs, and maybe I want to send something fully secured because it's an internal government matter of New York nation. Okay, I don't want the NSA to know anything about it. I don't want Google to pick its thing inside. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should be able to read it. Okay, except the person or the persons or the people who are destined to receive it, and they also need to be absolutely sure that it's really Dannenberg who is sending them this email. Okay. So let's do it. I'm going to send it to myself. So I clicked here from. You see, I have here 3 possibilities. I can have as many as I want, because this email client can work with the internal emails that are configured here, but I can also add any IMAP type email client. So for example, if your email server accepts IMAP, you can configure it here as well. Okay? So I'm going to take the first option, which is Zuba email, and you see it's written secured. If I take Alto change, it's an IMAP configured mail system, which is also configured on my Outlook. Okay, so I'm going to let's start with the Alto change. You see, I can have my logo, etc., as a consultant, etc., and then I'm going to send it also to myself. Let's do it here, Willie. Alto change. Okay, I chose Alto change. I'm doing demo NEN, Earth Nation. Okay, I'm saying hi, and I'm sending the email. Okay, you heard the beep, and you see here I've got ALC, I've got Zuba email, and I've got Zuba box. So each one of those things corresponds to a certain email client. Okay, I can say I only want to see secured mail. Look what happens.
Nice.
You see? So I'm going to open it again. Now, in a few minutes, my Outlook, I have Outlook here, it will poll my Auto Change account, and this will disappear. Okay, because it will be downloaded, because it's an IMAP account. Okay, probably. Oh, you see, it polled it. You see demo NEN? You see here on the top bottom, on the bottom side? You see, okay. That's my email. Okay, let's close this. It arrived. This shows it in my Outlook. That's my Outlook. Let's close it. If I'll now ask, let's normally the Zubai box will poll in a few minutes, but let's provoke it, and you will see the demo NEN would disappear now. You see, it disappeared. Now, why did it disappear? Because the Outlook downloaded it. Okay? Okay, so I'm sharing my email with Outlook. Okay, now let me open this email. And you see here, you have the lock. Okay? You can put in your logo in a signature, etc. And you see the security strength bar is like 1/4 or 1/3. Okay? Because it's a secured mail. But I didn't use all the security features. Let me show you a little bit the security features. Okay? Okay, this is the security feature. I'm going to now send a secured email. Okay? To send a secured email, I can send it only to a secured, you see, I can also change my signatures. Okay? I have a 2 out of 3. I can also not use a signature. See, that's another signature. When I'm saying a totally secured email, that's a Zuba email, I'm going to send it only to a Zuba email. Okay? Yeah. Now, I'm going to do a demo. Again, NEN, and it's demo 2. It's a demo number 2. I'm going to select security levels. I can, the message is already encrypted, but I can add another level of encryption. The encryption that we use is already with a key of 4096 bit key, and it's not in one key, it's 3 keys. So every information is already encrypted 3 times, but I can encrypt it another time if I want. I can also encrypt another time the attachment, so I can add another layer. I can ask the receiver to authenticate himself to be able to open the message. I can send the email to Sasha, to Wolf, to Greg, to Avi and other people, and I can tell you guys to open it. I want all of you to be there at the same time. Fantastic. So Greg cannot open it on himself, or Sasha cannot open it. You need to be at the same time present to open the message. I want also to oblige the people to, when you want to open an attachment, also to digital sign. I'll explain what is the digital signature in a minute. I also want you to know that I digitally signed this email. So I'm also clicking authenticated by sender. You see, every time the bar becomes longer, okay? Receiver is notified this message is sent using Butterfly secured browser and identified machine. Nice. Only to be open on an identified machine using Butterfly secured browser. Let's take the full Monty today, and I also want a read confirmation. Okay, you see I've got all star. I don't know if you see it's written quite small, but the bar is 100% full. Okay, I can add another feature here. I'm going to say NEN 456. Okay, this is a tag. Now, what is this tag thing? We don't want to pollute your mailbox with email, okay? I'm sending this email to one person in this case, but if I'm using a tag of which it's a membership tag, I've got Avi and Sasha who are members, they will be able, by just clicking on a tag, to see the email without being copied, okay? And on this tag, that's the next version of Zubaybox which will arrive. I can create a process. For example, let's say I'm making this. Sorry?
Wow.
Great.
Okay, let me give you an example. I love when I hear those wow, because I usually hear them a couple of times when I'm making those demos.
Yes,
because there's so much breaking ideas here that can change the whole way we share, we discuss, we trade, we even love people, because you can transmit opinions and feelings with the system. That's what we're aiming at. So it's really something that can really change the way people talk and relate to each other. And what we've done here with the tags is that, and it's a huge development we are doing, we can, for example, create a whole process. Let's say I'm selling a service or a product. Let's say I'm selling a product. So the first stage is making a quotation. Then after I have the quotation, I need to accept the quotation. And when the quotation accepted, I create a purchase order. When I create a purchase order, I need to manufacture it. And when I manufacture it, I need to deliver it. And when I deliver it, I need to invoice it. Then I need to get paid. Okay? I'm just outlining a process, but it can be any process in New Earth Nation. For example, acquiring of a new tribe that is going to become a member of New Earth Nation. Today it's Squamish. Tomorrow it's the somebody from New Zealand, etc. So you have a process in the system, and you want to control the process in such a way that you didn't forget anybody, and you didn't forget to do anything in the process. And so the process is credible, it's secured, and it's built tailor-made to your needs. You can create the process that you want. And in the process that I just outlined, when I have a purchase order, when we need, for example, to manufacture, Greg needs to digitally sign that he agrees that the manufacturer can go ahead. And then when we deliver, Sasha needs to agree, and Willie as well.
Can you give us a quick sneak peek to the interface where you program the processes?
Not yet. I don't have it yet. It's still in development. But this is what's going to happen here with the tags. It's a matter of probably another 2 months before we will be releasing it.
Got it. Got it. Fantastic.
Okay. But it's not all. You see, I can attach a file. Okay. I'm clicking on the file attachment. Okay, here it's going to attach a file from my own machine, but the next version, I will be able to attach not only a file locally, but also a form that you will be able to create here in the system. For example, I want to create a form, quantity, price, delivery date, and delivery port, okay? So I can create the form here, and I can attach the form into the system. Then my client, for example, can receive this form and say, I agree to the date, I agree to the quantity, I don't agree to the price. Instead of $10 per unit, I agree for $7 per unit. And then I will tell him, okay, I agree also to $7 per unit. So he signs on the form, I sign on the form, and we've got a deal. And the form is linked to a tag. Okay?
Excellent.
And then it triggers all the processes that come after that, basically.
Exactly. Now, in your smartphone, in the PayService application, you will have a notification center, a little bit like Facebook. You know, when somebody likes a picture or something that you posted on Facebook, you get a notification saying, oh, you have 3 things. So you look, oh, I have 2 likes and somebody posted something on my wall. The same thing, we have a notification center. We have it in Zubai Box, but everything is going to be connected also to the smart apps. Okay? Yeah, just 1 second. I think I launched another version. Yeah, well, I close this thing. Just 1 second. I'll open it again. When I took my smartphone, I touched my mouse and I clicked. Okay, so you see, you can create your own processes in the system, your own tags, your own signature and approval methodology for each and every process. Now, I'm going to show you, and here I'm going to give you a peek view how it's working. I'm going to send this mail, and you remember I said authenticated by sender. I also said I want a read confirmation. I also said that I want that the receiver is notified that it's being sent with the Butterfly secured browser, etc. And I'm going to send it, okay? Look what's going to happen. Aha. Now, this is the authenticator. I'm holding in my hand my smartphone, okay? We have this application for Windows phone, for Apple's iPhones, for Android, and for Blackberries, okay? You can download it today, it works, huh? It's a PayService application. I'm going to open my PayService application. Okay, I'm launching it. Here it is. It asks me for my PIN code, okay? I don't know if you see the screen. I'm going to put my PIN code. I can create a PIN code for my smart app, which is different than my PIN code for my Butterfly browser. Every tool can have its own security. The PIN code can be 4 to, I think, 30 characters long. Huh? So it really depends how long you want your thing to be. I have a 4-digit PIN code, okay? And the smart app opened. Okay, it opens immediately in the transaction code, which is the authenticator, but there is a menu, okay? If you have an Android phone, this is version 1.0. The version of iPhone 1.1 will be available within normally 2 weeks on the App Store, but the version 1.1 of Android and 1.1 of BlackBerry is already available. You've got more options in the menu. But I have this, and I'm going to take at this moment the authenticator, and you see the authenticator, I don't know if you can read it, it asks me for a code, okay? Now the code is this number because I'm going to sign digitally the email. Now, you don't need to do it, of course, on every email, but if you want to have a fully secured government document, or your New York Exchange or New York Nation documents traveling on the internet, you better use the full Monty for the transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to sign the mail, and to do that, either I'm going to type this number, the 70824833149. It's a number that will change every time when I'm asking digital signature. Or you see here, I've got a QR code. So either I type it here, you see I can type it in with the keys, okay? Or I have here a camera. I'm going to activate the camera, okay? Now I've got my camera, and I'm going to turn the phone, and I'm going, maybe I can do it another way around. Let's see. Okay, I can see the screen, and I'm going to use the camera in the front. I haven't tried it in a demo, but I'm going to try to read the barcode. I don't know if it's, I'm not pointing correctly. I have difficulty pointing it. Let me turn it. I'll do it this way. Yeah, okay, it's ready. You see, it asks me, do you want to use this QR code? Okay. I know why I didn't read them. Okay, because I put I said I didn't use it in a thing because I did it like this. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't
Okay.
read the screen anyhow, so at least I can because it's very small. So go ahead and do it.
Okay, it says, do you want to use this QR code 70824833149, which is the same number on the screen? I'm going to say yes. And it's going to calculate. You see now, normally it should appear a green box with white text. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the numbers I need to copy here. Okay? So I'm going to copy it, 432-024-373-07006. Okay, that's the numbers I have in the green box. I'm going to sign it. If I didn't make any mistake, it's successful. And I authenticated myself as the sender of this email. It's going out. Okay? And it already arrived in my inbox. And what do I see? Demo, New York Nation number 2. And I've got the log. I've got levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I took the full Monty, everything. Now, if I want to open it, you remember I asked the person receiving it also to digitally sign with the application. Otherwise, he cannot open it. I also obliged the person who is receiving it to use the Butterfly browser because I know the Butterfly browser is going to identify the machine on which it's running. Okay, I've got the full security, trying to open it, and he says, okay, you need to sign again. So let's sign again. I'm going to do it very quickly. I'm taking the camera. I'm reading the QR code. It's already read. You see, it's very quick. Up. Then I'm going to put the code, and the code is 710823, and then here 52032-169. Okay, sign. Successful, and I can open the email.
I love it.
Okay, now if I've put 2 persons, it will ask the 2 persons to sign. Now we don't have to be at the same time in the same room. We can share the screen, and then I can say, Greg, use your smartphone and please digitally sign, and you will get a different code than I am. And
Does it need to happen at the same time, or can it has to be simultaneous because of that requirement?
Yes, because I asked that the 2 persons will sign it at the same time to open the email. So what will happen is that I will sign first, for example, and then when I say submit, it will say successful, and it will re-show me again the same screen with the asking Greg, for example, to sign. Now, if Greg is not near me, I will tell him, look, Greg, the number is this and this. Or I will share my screen with him. He will type it into his application and will give me the code. Or he will be near me and will use his phone so that I know that physically both persons are aware that we're opening this mail.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a totally secured system, and we are also adding all sorts of other functions. For example, the calendar. We are going to have a system like Dropbox here as well. There are really tons of things that are going to be added. And I'm going to show you very quickly some other, and then we'll take some questions. Oh, you see, I opened the mail, and I also requested a read confirmation. So Willie at zubaibox.com opened your message. Let's see what it says. And it says that the message has been opened. You see, I don't get the actual text of the message because it's just a receipt, and it's secured. The content is secured. The subject is displayable, but the data is not. You cannot see it. It's secured. Okay? Now, I want to show you a few other things. You can download, you can create your favorite websites. And here, I can reset, for example, if I'm changing a telephone number, I can reset put a new telephone number here, for example. I can create my VPN, and here, in the next version that will come in the next couple of weeks, I can add the shared folders. Okay. So for example, if I'm sharing my folder with all of you guys, I'm going to say, okay, I've got a folder in my documents called New Earth Nation. I'm going to share it with you guys, and I'm going to give access to all of you, and I'm going to put all your names and accounts here. And what will happen, you will get a message, do you agree to gain access to this account? So I need to give you an account, and you need to accept. Okay, so it's always a two process. I cannot, you need always to accept. Nobody can also access my system if I don't give access to it. So everything has to be approved. I can put on my cards, which are recognized. You see here, it's a card, okay? I can use the system, the favorite, the moment it doesn't display, but this is part of the browser. And as I said, this browser is fully HTML5 compatible, and it also has extra tags to give your website access to the card reader, to the camera, etc. And the next one of the next version will also have a video conferencing tool, etc., included as well.
How long until that browser comes over?
The version that you see today with some more tools will be out in about 2 weeks for the Mac version and about 4 weeks for the Windows version. But I can give you links to the beta version so that you can try it out and play with it. Mm-hmm. And we are all the time continuously developing it, and we're adding, as I said, we are linking different tools today, so that when you use it every few days, you will see, oh, I've got new stuff, what it is, etc. We're adding it.
So does that 2-week and the 4-week delivery schedule include the video conferencing ability?
No, the video conferencing probably will take us another 2 to 4 months.
Okay.
What is interesting, as I said, we can help you with fully secured browsers, which are the quality of a banking system. With the browser, with the servers, with the cards, etc. But we have already in our system also servers that are capable of sending and receiving SMSs, and also what we call IVR servers. Example, IVR is a interactive voice response servers, whereas we can, for example, ask our server, and you can use it in a tag also within your applications, okay? You just put the tag and you say, call this number and convert this text into speech, okay? And the server will call the guy and say, hi, Willie, your code is 123456.
Great.
Okay, so we have this possibility, but it can eventually, it will also develop the possibility to create a complete menu system. Type 1 for this, type 2 for that. Okay, and what will happen is that you can create from your website a complete tree structure of a logic in a voice response server, which we also manage for you.
So for people that are, for example, sight challenged, is there voice activated commands as well?
Yes, the system, we didn't activate the voice, but the system is capable of recognizing voice recognition. Great. Or by typing on the numbers. Mm-hmm. and it's the same server that can also manage video conferencing.
Great.
It's a very powerful server. We can, for example, on our machine, we can manage up to 1,000 concurrent video conferences. It's a very powerful machine. And by the way, when you are registering your account and your smartphone, you get an SMS. It's this server who is sending it to you.
Okay.
You probably, I think, Sasha, when you, or Avi, when you registered your smartphone, you got an SMS that's coming from this server. And what we are doing now, we are integrating the voice, it's a SIP code into the browser. So you will have here a number of few extra icons, like start a video conferencing. And you're also going to have here, it's almost ready, I already saw the beta version, a chat. Let's say I want just to send a message to, I don't know, to Greg. And like on Skype, I can see that Greg is online and I can send him a message and it's fully secured. It's under the browser. He knows that it's me talking to him. And it's on a secured browser, and he sees that I'm online, and all the communication is also encrypted in several keys of 4096 bits. But what I want to say is that we didn't use only the keys which are standard in the market. We created our own keys. So if by any chance any security agency managed to crack even a 4096 keys, we are not using only standard keys that are used by just about all the websites in the world. We're using also our own encryption system. Remember, I told you we have some people that are very strong in mathematics, like this lady from the Club of Rome that had this PhD when she was 19. Mm-hmm. But I won't say much more. But this is the kind of tools that we have been integrating as well. So I don't think that it's easy to crack those codes. It must be very, very quickly, very difficult. It's very quick in the system to encrypt and decrypt, but it's extremely difficult to crack the communication. We believe that it's really top-notch, fully secured.
And again, that was a 4095 or 4096-bit encryption?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have, for example, let's say I take the word hello and I convert it into a key of 4096 bits. Then I get a result which is gibberish if you try to read it. And then we take this gibberish and we encrypt it a second time with the 4096 bit key. And then a third time, and then we encrypt it with another encryption system that we developed.
Nice.
You see, so I mean, the servers have been built from the ground up to do it, and they have been built also in such a way that all this decryption is extremely, extremely quick. You don't notice it. There's no delay whatsoever in the decryption steps.
Fantastic.
Okay, so what is it going to take to get one of those servers?
There are two possibilities to start. We have already a number of organizations, such as the New Earth Nation, that I want to say just one thing. We did not plan to provide servers, but every time when people were dealing with values, they were hitting a brick wall because they needed to be credible and to protect the data and the values that they were managing on those servers. Right. So they started to search systems, and then they found out that they were not capable. They didn't have the tool, and even if they have the capable people, they did not have the right procedures and the machines and the tools, etc. It's a very complex thing to create a very strong, reliable, and secured server. Sure. So we started to work with one of the organizations that contacted us. It's an American non-profit organization, and they said we started to create our own servers. Then we had hackers getting in. We lost all credibility. We don't want this to happen again. So we started to look into it, and we had a few meetings at PayServices, and then we created a complete path that you can start small and scale it up very easily. Okay, so because all those organizations, usually they start with the development server, and then one day they have 10,000, 100,000, maybe 5 million users. Now, the worst thing that happened to them until today was success. Because if you build the server from the beginning in such a way that you want to save on capacity, on security, on scalability, either because you don't know or you don't have the tools or money to do it, when you succeed, you fail. Because your server and your software cannot follow this exponential growth in users. Right. So what we did, we said to ourselves, most of those organizations are non-profit. They don't have a lot of money. So we decided that we are going to offer servers that will be the same like our own certified PCI DSS level 1, but we are not going to ask them to pay $100,000 to $500,000 to certify those servers. We're not going to certify them PCI DSS level 1. They're not going to get the diploma or the certification, but they are going to be exactly like a certified machine, like our machines, which means that when we are doing things like upgrading some software or something like this, we do the same thing to those machines. We put the same protection in those machines, etc. And that was the first decision. The second decision was we are going to offer a path of growth so that if the non-profit organization, which was our case study, will grow very quickly, they will be able to evolve within a matter of hours or days into a capacity which can be 10,000 times bigger than what they have when they developed the system. So what we did, we created a complete new, we can call it process or technology, where we can deliver one server that has practically all the bells and whistles of a big server farm, i.e. a number of servers. Or you can start either with one server or 3 servers. We cannot do it with 2 servers. We can do it with 1 or 3. But when we have 3, we can add a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th. Now, why do we have 1 or 3? Let me explain. 1, we put everything on this server, all the security, and we have RAID disks, and we can put backups, etc. But we cannot do data replication on a second machine, and we cannot do load balancing because we have only one machine.
Of course.
When we have 3 machines, we have one machine that is doing, that's really already the full Monty. You have already all the structure of a complete banking system, and you can use the 3 machines probably to handle maybe even 1 million accounts. So you probably don't need to go over 3 machines. Just for your information, at PayServices, we have 15 servers. We have 5 times more, but we have servers for voice, we have servers for security, and the fact that you need only 3 machines is because we have 15 servers. Mm-hmm. Because to get the PCI certification, every machine has to be a castle in itself and has to do only one part of the system and has to be doubled.
So as a matter of fact, the only way we could get PCI certification would be at the level of 3 servers, of course.
That's the minimum, yes.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
I think that even with 3, you will be facing difficulty. You probably need 5. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you why. Because, for example, on PayServices, we have our own DNS server. Mm-hmm. We have our own server that are doing the data replication. We have our own server that are doing backups. We have our own servers that are managing the firewalls. Yeah. You see, so every function is separated. And let's say one of the servers is compromised, you cannot access the other servers because it's only the other servers that are calling the server. It's not one server that can call another one. There is a structure there where the communication is monodirectional. So if you're coming from the outside, you cannot go into any server that you want because you will get stuck at the first server. He will not let you talk to any other server. And even if you get into the first server, the other server will not talk to you. And by the way, our system is already IP version 6 compatible. Great. You can do the test. There are some websites that can do the test. We have better rates of IPv6 ready than Facebook and Google, actually. We have very good, we're at the top of the line in IPv6. And if you try, to get the PCI DSS level certification, every 3 months we've got an audit, and we've got what we call white hackers, professional hacking system that is trying to hack into the system of PayServices. The PayServices is so beautifully built that every time they try, we provide some surprises to them. I'll give you an example. Our servers are Unix based, but when they are every time when they are doing their test, they think that our servers are Windows based. So if you're trying to hack a Windows based server, you're doing certain tools. You need to use certain tools. But they think that it's a Windows server, but it's a Unix, and they don't know which version it is.
Is it Unix or Linux?
I will not tell you.
Fair enough. I appreciate that.
So we're having a lot of fun because we see what they are trying every time to do, and they always fail. They always get in. We put them into a dead end. So, and by the way, if you look at who is PayService, etc., you will see that everything is practically named under PayServices. You have very little information. Where are the servers? What they do? What is the DNS, etc. You can look at it. We try to do it in such a way that everything is fully controlled by us.
Very cool.
Yeah, you can even try to ping PayServices. I don't think it will ever answer you.
So what would be the path for a setup of one server and a setup of 3 servers?
It depends how you want to go. If you want, if you have the budget, take immediately the 3 servers. I'll tell you why. Because with the 3 servers, when you develop, you will already have access to the load balancers, to the data replications, to the cron of the backups, to the internal structure. You will be familiar. You will learn how it works. And if tomorrow you need to go, first it's a much more reliable system, because if one of the servers breaks down, you can very quickly, or the system will automatically continue, okay? So it's already a much more reliable system, but at the same time, you will learn and you can build all your applications using all the data security tools like you're a bank. And I will tell you, I don't think you have much choice, because if you want to create a worldwide exchange and you want to work with tribes that are going to exchange value, hard-earned currency, local complementary currency, or any symbol of value that they would have through your nearest exchange, you must make sure from day one your system is credible. So I would say it's almost a non-brainer. You need to start with the 3 machines, not with the 1 machine. Because then you, from the ground up, you build all your website with the technology of a bank.
What is the setup cost and the monthly cost?
It's not cheap. It's much. It will probably cost you. I actually sent Greg an Excel sheet. I think and Roman. I also sent Roman an Excel sheet. I can forward it to you, and then we can discuss it. Yeah. The thing is, it takes us 5 days to set up 1 server, and we've got 2 guys working on it.
Okay. Willie, please send me that information, troy@humanitad.org. That would be great.
Okay, I will do that. It's an Excel sheet. Okay. What is nice there, you will see how much it costs you to set up, and monthly cost for a server. And then you have also all the upgrade part, going from 1 server to 3, then from 3 to 4, or 3 to 6. You can calculate all this in the server. Everything is calculated automatically. And when you start, it gives you immediately. I will send it to you again. I really recommend. It's not, and believe me, we are not earning money with this. It's because it's really real hard work to set it up and test it and maintain it. It's really something that you need if you want to be credible with your members, with your customers. You need something like that. And you need to tell us also where you want to set it up. We can set it up in, we can talk about it, then we can give you the countries where we can set it up. You can also take an option of a backup, and the backup can be set up in another data center or in another country or continent.
Okay.
Okay, so, but we can talk, it's a little bit technical, maybe it's not the purpose of this meeting, but I would really, really recommend for you, you want to create an exchange, go immediately for the 3 servers, build a system from the ground up, which is totally secure. Everybody who's developing will know the systems, and when you launch it, everybody is aware, is already using the system, which is a fully capable production system. And as I said, I think with the 3 systems, you can already manage up to, I think, even 1 million accounts. Really depends on the way you manage your development and how capable you are in accessing databases. But we can help you with this as well. And because you can work closely with our development team, and we can give you a lot of advice how to create very capable systems that can read simultaneously many accounts, update it, etc. So we can give you a lot of tools, know-how, and APIs that you can use as well. And if you take those machines, you will work closely with our development teams. We put them at your disposal to help you, and you can really have then a machine which is really world-class.
Great, thank you. Can you give us a ballpark figure on what the development time involved would be once we have the servers in place?
For example, to set up one machine, it takes us about, as I said, 4 to 6 days. If it's a 3 machine, it takes us about, I would say, 10 days to do it.
Okay, thank you.
And then we give you the access and the codes, etc., and we give you training on it.
Okay, great.
So, I mean, if you order it, it will take you probably about 2 weeks to get it. Also, before we deliver it, we run it through all the tests of the PCI DSS level 1. And when we are satisfied with it, then we deliver the machines.
Okay, great.
So I would say, from the moment you decide, I would say 1 week, 2 weeks, something like that. We can already have something. Maybe I would say 15 days, 10 days. You will be up and running, etc. You can run on those machines any language that you want as a server. It's web servers, and we will teach you exactly how it works. And I think this by itself it's worth a fortune just to understand how it works and how it's built, and then it will really give you I would say a real technological edge. You know, because we were talking with the guys, you know, Irene and David and the other guys from Squamish, and I asked them, you know, Irene tells me, you know, we burned our Canadian ID cards and our passports. And I said, okay, but when you are driving a car and a traffic police stops you, what do you do? He says, oh, we give him the declaration of Squamish, and we tell them that we don't recognize Canada. And I said, what do they do? Because you don't have a driver license of Canada, and you are. And it says usually the traffic police, they call, they keep us for 15 minutes, and then they let us go. And I told them, you know, when you're going to have those cards with those IDs, you're going to have an ID card more advanced than the Canadian ID card or any ID card. Because you're going to have a chip, it has an NFC chip as well. It's got a magnetic stripe. It's personalized, etc. You can just give them the card, and they will look at it and they say, "Hey, I never seen an ID card with a chip with all these technological tools." So you're going to be more advanced than Canada, and I find it quite nice because they are not just giving a piece of paper. They see then traffic police will see that they. Those guys, they mean business. They have a tool which is fully technologically advanced, more than what he has ever seen in a Canadian with a Canadian citizen. And I think that's also something that can help with the credibility of all those tribes and groups to develop this credibility. Because the thing is, those tribes, if they recognize the local government, they still need to show that they are credible as an organization, and that they are well organized, and that it's not something else, that it's something that is really coherent and has a real meaning, humane meaning behind it, with people behind it, and with a structure which is credible and which is totally and strongly there in existence, and you cannot criticize it. I mean, if you have tomorrow, look what happened with Bitcoin, which I think is a great invention, but we had the Mt. Gox bankruptcy, and millions of people lost their money. I mean, this is really undermines the credibility of Bitcoin. Yeah. You don't want these kind of things to happen. You want to have something which is stable, built 100% from the ground up. And everything that we are doing with PayServices is like that. We are trying to build something which is from the ground up, is built to last. There was something, I don't know if you read one of the books of Bernard. He said that the cathedrals, 95% of the cathedrals in Europe were built in the Middle Ages between the year 1000 and 1300. It's quite amazing because those cathedrals were built to last for 1,000 years and more. Most of them are there still. And the idea was that the money, you could not put it in the bank to gain interest. You were losing interest because every city had its own money. But if you look at all those cathedrals, it cost a fortune to build. And it's complementary currency, it's communities with this complementary currency that were able to build those cathedrals because they were managing their own currency. What happened is that when the community issued the currency, it was the community that owed this money to the individual. Today, the system is totally upside down. We owe this currency to the banks.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. So we cannot build any more cathedrals. We are building things that will not last thousands of years. They will last just the period of the warranty, and then they will go broken. They will be broken. That's what we see today. Whereas if you have your own currency and the currency is not built with positive interest but with negative interest, you would build cathedrals. You will build the pyramids. When they built the pyramids, they also had the money. The money was a papyrus document. When you were a farmer and you had 10 tons of wheat, you would take the 10 tons of wheat when you will bring it to the government, the king's warehouse, and he will give you a papyrus document that will say, the warehouse owes you 10 tons of wheat, which you gave on this and this date. But the more you keep your papyrus, the rats are going to eat your wheat.
Right.
Yeah, so you have less and less wheat. And the guard of the warehouse has to be paid as well. He needs to feed his family. And the king also wants his share. So the more you keep your papyrus in hand, the less it's worth. So what you want to do is to get rid of this papyrus. You're going to exchange it with somebody for something which doesn't lose value. And it will be a house. It will be maybe work to improve your irrigation of your fields. You're going to build something that will not lose value, but will create value, which is something that will change and improve your life as a person and as a family member or as a community member. What we did with the positive interest, we created a capitalistic system, which, okay, it brought us a lot of great inventions and improved the life expectancy and life level, but now we are paying the price of all this by pollution, by polluting the environment, destroying the environment. We went too far. We need to give some sense into the system. And Bernard Lietaer, he wrote, he explained it in one of his books beautifully. Also, there was something very striking. 95% of cathedrals in Europe, they have a name of a woman, Notre Dame de Paris, not of a man. Why? because at that time our societies, they were believing what we call societies which were feminine. It was now we are more masculine. With this kind of feminine type of societies, we have societies that are building things where you take care of the kids or the members of the family, the community, etc. It was a totally different approach. That's why those cathedrals are named after women, because women had their central role in the family. And that's what really important. So this is some information that I wanted to say, and all the philosophy that we have been trying to build here is really to do the it's really the things that we have been trying to build into the PayServices system. And I think I read twice the Constitution of New York Nation. I read twice, just one, sorry, that's one of my son. I read twice the New York Exchange also Constitution document.
Treaty.
Treaty, yes, sorry. Just one second. And I find that there is really a perfect match between what you are trying to do with New York Nation and what we are trying to achieve with PayServices. I'm so glad that to have found you, and I hope that you will be as glad to have found us.
Willie, you have no idea how happy I am to have found you, especially after this second demonstration today, which is just worlds apart from the demonstration you gave us 6 months ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. And by the way, within about six, if you saw the demonstration 6 months ago, I didn't tell you everything what we are developing. You will be, I mean, in 6 months, the system will be even much more powerful.
Oh, I can extrapolate how good it'll be in 6 months, Willie.
It's I mean, I'm so excited by the ideas that we are developing now. I cannot speak yet about everything because we haven't tested everything, but we have some amazing more ideas that will come into the system.
Wow. Okay, so now I want to move this conversation into something very practical.
Okay.
And essentially, I have sufficient time available over the next 4 weeks and thereafter will be less available for a while at least. But so what I want to do is over the next 4 weeks, nail down everything. That's from our end, the full spec of what we want to integrate and how that's going to look, what our IT guys need to build interface-wise, our end, what agreements are going to exist between us, the promotional and marketing material, and the full works. So that gives us quite a busy. We have a busy few weeks ahead of us in that regard. I'm happy to drive this and the specking of the interface stuff and that New Earth side. Particularly Wolf, I guess this question is directed at. How do you think we should proceed with this next step, our end? Do you and I need to sit down and look at the web spec, our end, or what do you think's best?
I think it all starts with IT and how we are going to integrate it into the Exchange portal.
I will let me give you a few pieces of advice on how to move forward, because I have been dealing with a number of organizations that wanted to interface with the PayServices system. We looked at the philosophy. I think there is really a beautiful match here of the gift economy and even the perfect world let's say that New Earth Nation now would have achieved the perfect world, we can be there already very quickly with the pay services tools. So with regards to the philosophy behind the link and the development of the tools, there is a very clear path which exists already, and the direction is already known as well. So that's, for me, already a key thing, because there's no need to look into it in depth in the direction and the path. We know where we want to get to, the target. Now, the thing is how we do it technically. And to do it technically, you will want to create your account. So we already opened the account, and then we want to create your currency, and then we want also to create a user account system. Now, if you want your users to be connected to the legacy banking system, for example, pay a donation with a credit card, etc., then we need to go into an onboarding system, which can be of different levels. If it's just to stay in your internal environment, but it will limit some of the possibilities, then they can just open the account and work together. So there are different levels of onboarding, and by onboarding, it can be up to the president or the committee that manages New Earth Nation. It can be just a simple individual just doing a donation. He's not a member. I just like the idea. I don't want to be a member, but I just like the idea. I want to make a donation. I don't even open an account on PayServices. That's the least commitment to the project, but he's giving something. Okay, it's a gift he's giving to New Earth Nation. And then, oops, sorry. Just 1 second. I'm using my iPhone to talk with Skype so that we're not disturbed.
No worries.
Yeah, maybe I can put myself offline. Let me do this. I'll put myself offline here so we won't be disturbed. Okay, just on my iPhone, so on the screen here we're not going to be disturbed. So what I want to say is that depending on the level of commitment, we can accommodate whatever level you want. Now, that's the first thing. So what you need to do is to create a task team. In the task, you can have, let's say, all the contractual and the conceptual team. Then you have the IT team. You need also to decide if you want to go to the 3 servers configuration, for example. Every one of those aspects has some things that need to be included in it. What needs to be included? We need to be including it, the people, the project, the sub-projects, and the action plan, and also daily reports. Now, a couple of months ago, I made a demo for some people here on New Nation of AltoChange. It's a platform that we use and the developers on PayServices use as well to manage projects and to communicate, and we can do reporting, etc. If we want, we can activate this for that, or you can continue use the email, etc. But if you want to organize it in a professional way, we can give you this platform of project management as well.
Okay.
Okay, some people are using it, some organizations are using AutoChange by giving it for free. Companies need to pay thousands of euros to use it. We are giving to organizations such as New Earth Nation, it's for free, and you can use it and play with it and do the reporting and etc. Exchange it. There's a lot of things that we can give you as tools to develop. But I think the suggestion of Greg to discuss all the structure, etc. I think that I can do a lot of things from PayServices with Greg for that. Technical aspect, I will probably put you with in contact with Lionel. I think you met him.
Yes.
Lionel is my son. He's the top guy. He's very, very competent. And what we are trying to do here is a lot of groundbreaking interfacing, etc. And he's the guy to talk to at PayServices.
Great.
And also he can decide to divert programmers to work on different project with you. If you need, for example, an API which is specific. He can do it for you, or he can ask one of the programmers, can instruct him to do it. Or if you need some modifications, he have full authority to get things moving within PayServices as well. Okay, I have practically full authority on all the conceptual and connectivity and client base and users base, etc. Lionel is really the guy to talk to on all the IT aspects. He can really get you things moving and adapted to your needs very quickly.
Great, thanks, Willie. We need to get clear on, because we have, as I showed you when we spoke a few days ago, Willie, the onboarding process already for New Earth Nation.
Yes.
So we need to look at our own New Earth Nation portal and interface. Look at the tools that you're bringing to the table, how and where we want that how we want that to design that to look with all these new and remarkable tools available. Is that to your mind the first step that we need to go through?
Yes, if you want an onboarding system, which is like AML, KYC, it's very complicated to do. We achieved that. It took us many months of hard work to get it right. You can use our system, and in a few months, the onboarding, you will be able to brand it and use it within your website as well.
Great.
But at the moment, we don't have yet the tools to do the onboarding in a smartphone, which it can be branded, and it's not part of our plan at the moment, because smartphones it's a lot of development. It's very complicated to develop on smartphones. And everything we had to do in 4 versions for the iPhones, for the Android, for the BlackBerry, and for the Windows Phone. So we may be offering it within the Butterfly browsers, but we don't have yet plans to do it with the smartphones. Having said that, you can say people, look, we have a partnership with PayServices, use the onboarding, so you don't need to take care of it. And believe me, it's months and months of development. So it will save you tons of money, tons of time.
Yeah.
And if you use already the built-in tools that we are providing you. Of course, we can give you APIs, etc. But the more, as a general rule, the more you use the tools that we give you, the easier it will be for you. And you will have a system up and running in months, if not years ahead, if you are using the tools that we are providing you, because it will really save you a lot of technical know-how and hassle and programming. And you know, just the change between version 1.0 and 1.1 on our smartphones, on the server side, I'm not telling you how many lines we had to write on the smart apps side, but on the server side, we had to write 15,000 lines of code. It's so complex to get it right that, you know, just to pass from version 1.0 to 1.1, moving from 1.1 to 1.2, where we are going to have e-democracy tools, voting, opinions, and tons of other tools. We are going to write probably another 20,000 lines.
Yeah.
On the server side, I'm not talking about the smart apps. Every app is another probably 10,000 lines as well, huh?
Yep, no doubt.
So if you want to gain a lot of time and money, etc., and time is money, unfortunately, I mean, be our guest, use as much as you want, as you can, as you need of the tools that we are going to give you. Yeah. And by the way, you have here the developers part on the PayService website. We have here about, I think, 20 APIs in different languages, etc. Show you a little bit around mail. You see, for example, this API exists in PHP. Yeah. Yeah,
Willie. When I talked about onboarding, what I meant was what we spoke about the other day, which was what was essentially a minor amendment to our own onboarding process, whereby we use the API that you've developed that captures the the microphone and camera from the computer. So you do like a little 30-second face to camera. I am Willie Danberg. I am Greg Paul.
Exactly.
I'm a New Earth Nation, so on and so forth, so that we can bypass that need, you know, to bypass the need to have a legacy system ID, and then we can create and issue those New Earth Nation IDs. So if I understood the conversation we had the other day correctly, is that we literally just needed to integrate one API of yours in the middle of our existing join process, and that will take care of it.
Well, you will need, if you need to link it, you will need, well, technically you will probably need to talk to Lionel just to get it, I mean, it's probably more than one API. So I don't want to say something which I am not sure of, but it might be a number of APIs, but we can definitely, anyway, with our browser, we will be able to give you access to the camera and the microphone and the recording, etc., through our browser. That's part of the plan of the next release of the browser. Now, if you want to do it on the smartphone, as I said, at the moment there's no commitment to do an API for the smartphone because it's much more complex. But on the browser, definitely we are going into to offer this possibility, so you will be able to integrate it, definitely. The way the API will work is that,
basically, I'm putting myself forward to lead and drive this process over the next month, but I don't understand it because I'm not technical enough. So my question to Troy, Santi, and Wolf is, what information or questions would you like to ask of Willie now to give you the information that you know you will need in order to do this full A to Z specking out of what we're going to be doing over the next
Is it possible, oh, sorry, go ahead, Troy.
Go ahead, Santi.
I was going to ask, is it possible to have an access to your current system so that we can digest them further than this demonstration?
Yes, it's very simple. I would suggest that you just go on PayServices, you open an account, it's free, you can do, anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a smartphone, I don't know, do you have Android phone or BlackBerry? Or?
I have an iPad, an iPad that is not a phone, but it's an iPad. So I can put an iPhone app, an iPad.
Okay, at the moment, the iPhone app is not yet released on the iPhone. I mean, yes, you can, you can download version 1.0, but you cannot do the onboarding because the onboarding is part of 1.1, and this will be released in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
But you can already open the account and play a little bit with the system.
My son has a Nook, otherwise I can use the Nook that has that was on Android.
Yeah, you can also use from the Android. Yeah, you can download version 1.9. You can do the full onboarding process. You will see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But you don't need to do the onboarding process just to open the account. The moment you open the account, you have already, let's say you create an ID, which is Sansi, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you will have immediately an account on PayServices, and automatically, if you go to ZubaiBox, you will have a ZubaiBox account as well, which will be sansi@zubaibox.com. Okay, so you will have immediately, the moment you register, 2 accounts. Now, if you want to handle value and be compatible with the legacy system, then you need to do the video capture of your ID, documents, and the small video saying that my name is, etc. Because this we need to, if you don't, we want to start handling value. So we do the AML KYC part, but you can do it also today already on the Android phones, on BlackBerry, the whole thing you can do, not on the iPad. The iPad will be within 2 weeks, I think.
But I need a phone. I cannot do it on a browser.
You can do it in a browser to open the account. But if you want to do the onboarding with the video registration, you will need to wait for the Apple version. or you can do it on any Android phone, for example.
So I cannot do it on the Butterfly web browser directly.
Yeah, you could do it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, in answer to your question, Greg, I think the next step for me is to really go through the developer section of the PayServices website, read all of that stuff in a very slow, digestible fashion, and connect with Lionel like tomorrow. And we should definitely meet Greg and perhaps Santi and Wolf, the four of us. If possible, within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suggest. I think that I just want to put the dates in perspective. I think that Greg told me that you have an important meeting in South Africa in June. Is that correct?
Yeah, June the 15th. But we don't need to be tied by that date, particularly for this exercise. The biggest date we're tied by more than anything is that I largely off radar for a minimum of 3 months in 1 month's time.
Okay.
And up to now, when it comes down to things like this, I've largely been the driver for the developing agreement and a lot of the steps that go with it. So we kind of need to get to a certain threshold of development and solidity in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
To the point at which the rest of the team can then say, okay, I'm comfortable with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what my part is. So
I would.
That's
Yeah.
the main timeline.
I would say that you need to make a decision whether you want to go, for example, for the 3 machines, because it will take us a number of days to develop them. And then all the development will be on those machines as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to look at what the cost is and figure out.
Yeah, I will send it to you over.
Yeah, thank you, Lloyd.
But again, I'm not pushing for consumption, but if you want to create a credible system, that's, for me, it's the only way to go. It's to have such a secured environment. I think this will also, the moment you decide, will also determine the rate of development, etc. Because some of the things that you have been already developing, and I've played a little bit with the website that you have been developing, it looks very nice. You will need also to port it onto the new system, and you may need to make some modifications so that it's secured, because maybe some of the development that you have been doing already has some holes in it, and you will see immediately what needs to be changed. So probably what has been done will need to be improved on certain aspects as well and upgraded. So what you could probably do is keep the server you have today. Usually, from what I saw, when people are taking new servers which are secured, it takes them about 2 to 4 months before they launch. So even if they have already a website, because they need to learn the technology, understand it, etc. And when it's ready, then they launch. So you will probably have servers running with only the development teams running on it for, I would say, 2 to 4 months, and then when you are ready, then you just switch the DNS and you start. Okay, but I will send you the spreadsheet with some explanation, and if anybody has questions, they can just ping me on Skype, and we can discuss this and see how we do it.
Yeah. So there's kind of 2 things we're talking about here. One of them is actually doing this and getting it off the ground, and the other one, the first one, is deciding exactly what we're going to do and how.
Right.
So we've got 4 weeks to do the latter, and then the former of those obviously relies upon us, how quickly we can raise whatever funding we need for the service setup, which then begets a 2 to 4 month development period, I understand it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I have a reasonably clear idea of what we need to do now, I think.
Yeah, I don't have any further questions for Willie, but thank you so much, Willie.
Yeah, my pleasure. If you have any other questions, go ahead.
No, I don't have any other questions either. I
No.
was just going to suggest to Troy, Santi, and Wolf that we reconvene at exactly the same time as this call was 2.5 hours ago tomorrow.
All right.
After you've had chance to look through the PayServices APIs, connect with Lionel if you need to, whatever.
Yeah, I will do that first thing in the morning for sure.
Yeah, Troy, I think that you know already Lionel. You talked to him already in the past, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we have talked both with him. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Roman as well. Okay, perfect.
One question I would like to ask, maybe this is clear for all of you, but not for me, but as far as I understand, the transactions that people can make with this account need to be based on memberships as long as we allow them to do internal, currencies, alternative currencies. Once people start using the system to do transactions with legacy currencies, would that require something different on our end, like a banking license or something? Or could we use your license? How does that work?
Just before you put that to Willie, we're not going to be, we're not seeking to do legacy system transactions.
Never ever?
Why?
I don't know.
I know we've talked about the intent was always to do this.
Well, to be able to take donations for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, donations are a different thing. We can still have as having a part of the exchange or something, as in the organization. Having the organization exist in the legacy world is one thing, but having a system for the people of any end to use is another. And every roadblock we've hit with the exchange so far has been the murky line of crossing that threshold without muddying the integrity of the new system. And the reason why we've always hit a roadblock is because it can't be done. You cannot transact in the legacy world without undermining in some way the integrity of the new system.
Right.
And so we need to look at these as two separate things. There's our organization, which partly exists in the legacy world and will fund, and we'll even have a New Earth fund as part of the exchange that accepts legacy currency. But all it's doing is acting as like a brokerage that's sitting in the middle and is just allowing legacy currency to be utilized upon New Earth initiatives, within which then those initiatives function in this new emerging economy, without men and women needing to dirty their hands, and that's really the only way we can go with it.
I want to add a few pieces of information, if I may. We can provide a link which is secured between the New Earth Exchange and the legacy system on some transactions. We have a license in Israel. We're working now on an e-money license in Europe and what we call an MSB license in the USA. So we will eventually have a license in Europe and in the USA, but we have already a license in Israel, which allows us to do all sorts of operations with different currencies. So we are already a licensed entity, and this enables us to do a number of things already, where if New Earth Exchange, based on the New Earth Exchange Treaty, wants to connect to the legacy system, we can give you some tools and some connections. Not completely as a bank, but some parts of the way, and the more we advance, the more possibilities we will be offering. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is there is another aspect. When you have New Earth Nation membership and you want to issue an ID card, we can give you the tools the same way that you are doing the KYC AML process. We give you also the tools to create ID cards and identify the member. So those things always go hand by hand, because even if you don't want to be part of the legacy system, but you want to let people exchange, you want to make sure that the system is it's not only with 5 stars that you can give to a good guy, or only 1 star or 0 stars. If he has been, I would say, not to the level of quality that you want, but you must make sure that the guy who you have on the other side you're giving the stars to is the guy you're going to interact. I will give you an example. I started years ago to use a service to find freelancers, and I had recurring problems with some freelancers in India. I would find a great freelancer, I would interview him on Skype. I did a few times in India, and then, but not only India, but I discovered this in India. I had great Skype conversation with him. The guy was really great, and I said, okay, I'm going to hire you. And then I hired the guy, and then I continued to talk to him on Skype via chat, and I see that suddenly his great English becomes colloquial English. I said, something is wrong here. And what happened is that they have agencies. They have this guy who's opened the door, he's making the sale, and then he gives it to a guy that you've never seen. It's totally inadequate for the job that you need, etc. So you see, in this site that I was using, there was no control of who is actually you're dealing with. I was dealing with someone, and then when we passed the stage, I was dealing with somebody else. So the onboarding has to make sure that when you're dealing with one person and you already know this person and you trust this person, you gave him your trust, he gave you his trust or her trust, then you're always dealing with that person, and you must be absolutely sure. So the onboarding system, also in the New Earth Exchange, has to take this into account. And you've built your onboarding system, but we can give you more tools to make sure that you have the right person on both sides. That's what I just wanted to, but it's related to the legacy system, banking system as well, because you need to make sure that the person you have on the other side is fully identified to keep the system coherent and credible.
Yeah, except that, as I understand it from our conversation the other day, Willie, that by creating New Earth Nation IDs, we're essentially allowing people to create their own persona over which they maintain supreme executive authority, not being required to use an identifier that through it from a birth registration event of the legacy system. So we have that, Wolf. I understand this process really clearly and what we need to do.
I just want to, Greg, I just want to comment on what you said. We can, as a regulated system, accept any ID form which is credible. So what we've been doing with Irene and the Squamish sovereign government is that we told them, if you have a proper onboarding process in place and you give your citizens an ID based on that proper onboarding system, we are ready to recognize the ID issued by the sovereign Squamish government as proper ID with the same value as a passport of, I don't know, of Belgium.
And so, if I understand right, then Willie, what you recognize as a suitable process there is the sworn testimony of a living man or woman, and that's what the video is all about, basically.
Exactly. I think it's a key point for the whole concept. Is that the moment that there is a proper onboarding system to identify the individual, we are fully compliant with AML KYC systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so it opens the language, it opens the possibilities.
So that answers your question, Wolf. Theoretically, we could, with the process we're going for anyway, we could integrate with the legacy world, but after numerous conversations, we kind of have determined not to. It's actually since we determined not to that all of this movement and positive motion with the exchange has actually happened. That the formulation of the Constitution, this real re-engagement with William Pay Services. So I think we're heading in a good direction at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyway, some of the stuff we are doing, especially after the numerous conversation I had with Irene and David from the Squamish sovereign government, we have been thinking a lot on groundbreaking methodologies and ideas. And I think that it really helped me, actually, when I read the Constitution, the New York Nation Constitution and the New York Exchange Treaty, to better grasp what are the needs of a tribe like Squamish, which might be a member of New York Nation. So I really think that we have quite a good understanding. I don't think we have all the answers to all the questions. Nobody has. But we're definitely moving forward, and the answer that we have until today enabled us to advance, in huge chunks, and there was nothing that blocked us from moving forward until today. And we were having this conversation, and every time when there was kind of something on the way, we always found a way to move forward, either going over it or around it, or just changing direction slightly, etc. So we found solutions until today, and this is really what makes it really exciting, because nobody has ever done it before. I don't think that, and I talked to Bernard Letard. Bernard Letard is talking to tons of people that are launching their own currency, their own systems, their own governments. And nobody has been that far. Nobody had the tools to do it, and we do. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, so we will. And all we really need to make a success of this is a team of people who are focused at, who don't find the problems in things, but do find the solutions. So, and we seem to have that.
Absolutely.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed.
Any other questions?
Well, I know.
Sorry?
Not from my end this time.
Okay.
I know it's getting very late for Troy and Santi. It's about 3 a.m. there nearly now. So probably better let them get some beauty sleep. And the forum. So you guys are going to connect with Lionel tomorrow.
Yes.
And we will reconvene in 21 hours' time.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone.
With Lionel, what is your schedule, Lionel? Well, I guess what time do you up to what?
It's Willie, but
Willie, sorry.
Yeah, Lionel now is in Israel.
Oh, I see.
We have a big project there. It's only 1 or 2 hours difference with Belgium, so it's 1 or 2 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he's online now on Skype. If you want, you can just buzz him, I suppose, or ping him. He will reply. Let me see if he's still online, because he worked practically all. No, I think he went offline now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he worked the whole night.
It's late for us also, so better tomorrow.
No worries. I really need to go through the API documentation before I talk.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys.
Thank
so
you.
If you want to talk, just ping me or email me. I'll make myself available to try to find the best time to meet. I know it's a bit complex with the different time zones, but we found solutions, and it's a great. This time of the day is also perfect for me.
Yeah,
so,
we'll make it work.
Exactly. Okay, I will send you an email with the. I will get the table of the servers as well. We'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then you can have a look at it again. It's just a suggestion, but I know it can help a lot. So. And you will tell them what you want to do. Okay, great, guys.
Okay, fantastic.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Willie, for this remarkable presentation.
Yes, indeed. And for the remarkable product itself, it seems very, very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
And
Bye.
see you in the morning, Santi. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Take care.